Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio Living with Biters, where in the previous episode we were trying to sort out our iron issues, but it did not go as well as I'd hoped. I think we took a bit of pressure off the bots. We've got about half of the logistics bots in use and practically none of the construction bots, but the belt is really empty and they're still coming over to retrieve stuff from the chests. So we need to find another source of iron. I need to work it out. I was looking at the end of last episode at where we could have them. And there is a deposit there which is relatively close. I think our wall's going to go somewhere around here, so it's not that far. It's about as far as that place is. So I think either we go over to there and just mine that to death, or we could just go up there, set up a bunch of miners and just have them being piped in and just forget about it, and when the war starts it'll be annihilated and whatever, we'll have made some iron out of the deal. That might be the way to go. Just because we can get a huge amount from it. Whereas that is going to be a very temporary thing. We might need that later on once the war has started as a closer source of iron. For the moment I'm going to carry on with the wall. We'll think about it. Also, I believe there was some sort of explosion in this area last episode, but it's probably been fixed. I imagine it was a wall or a belt, so it's just been replaced. I didn't realise at the time, but at some point during the episode there was an explosion in this general area. Anyway, we'll continue up. We'll try and get the north wall done. And go from there. We might go back and do some secondary lines of the north wall. Actually, we practically got it finished. There's just a couple of fiddly bits around here that need working out. There's a tiny little gap here, and a slightly larger one there. At the moment, the logistics system needs a fair bit of extending. Let's do that. We will get some more being crafted. And send the bots crazy trying to get me supplied on all the stuff. We'll just expand it out from where it is so far. There we go. Power poles. Put it there, so I think the biters can go through this gap. I can anyway. We'll get a light. And then we'll put one up here so we can get this bit covered. We'll just sort of sneak it in this gap around here, I guess. Let's see, a fair bit of space we can put it in as long as it's not beyond this point somewhere over here. We can put it however we like. Have it fairly high up because it will be useful. Put it there. Get some power. Get some light. Hope the biters don't pay too much attention because it's in a bit of an awkward place and they might get angry about it later. So we've got that bit covered. We're not quite far up enough to put a bridge across here, but we could just put one here or something. Oh, we want it there so we can clear these out and have a bit of space to work in there, actually, which should be nice. There we go, and somewhere around here, oh dear. This one wants to go directly on top of where we have this pipe outpost thing that's happening. We could potentially incorporate it. That might make more sense than just having it outside it. I'm going to try that. I think it needs extending up a little bit. Oh, immediately angry biters. Or it's sort of slightly angry biters, potentially angry biters. I will attempt to remove them from the situation. And just make a 4x4 space next to this pipe that we can put the thing in. Nearly there, there's just one biter in the way. And we need to extend this by one more. Oh, there he goes. Right, I'll just use bots to be quick. And then I think if we plonk one in the middle of this, it's all good. That seems fine. Power is a problem. Put a power pole there. It's not a long range one though. Slightly awkward. But there's not enough room for that. And we can just hook it up to the refineries and that's all fine. We'll put some belts back in before they get angry about it. There we go. Can't see for the trees. Angry biters running past. Right, there. Oh, no, it's come wrong. Right, there we go. That's all good. Moving on, we'll go up here. If we can. We'll have to put one round there later on when we work out the south wall. Right, this one has a nice open area to work with, but it's not in range of any long-range power poles. I will craft a few more. Just plonk another one down. So it was so close to being able to... There we go. We'll just do that and then have a normal one. That's all fine. Currently 4 attacks ongoing. That's okay. So I guess I think there were 5 previously. So I guess one of them was the one that caused the explosion before. Right. So we can put walls in here, and that's all good. That's charging up. How's the power usage? Terrible. Big spike whenever we put a new roboport in, and then just constant usage. It's terrible. Everything else is tiny in comparison. Does it make up? It makes up, at this point, over half of our power consumption. Just the 51 roboports that we have working now. Right, I think I'll have some sort of custom defensive thing going on over here. Probably easier than using the blueprints. We'll start with this bit. Clear a couple of trees. I think we'll just cut this off. The biters will hate that. But I can't be bothered like making a system that allows them through. It would have no space in it. Loading is an issue. Can't really do it, and we need that for this to actually switch on. We'll move it up then, and that'll be alright. So any biters, try not to mind them as I place things. Put this in. Let's make this sort of extra well defended with a second layer of walls. And I've sort of locked myself on the wrong side of it, but it's not a huge issue. Right, request a chest. Plonk down. Power pole. Gonna have to connect this up to the power network somehow. Actually, it's not that difficult by the looks of things. Oh, can we fit a long-range power pole in here? Quite possibly. We can. That is useful. We will do that thing. Then we'll put our requester up here. 2 fast inserters. Here and here. Jolly good. Round we go. We'll continue with this. I mean, we could sort of cut it there, I guess. That might work. But then it makes little difference, really, apart from giving us slightly more work to do and one more roboport causing power issues. Clear a couple of these out of the way. How's the power suit? Oh, at the moment it's fully charged. That's good. Okay. I'd like to know where the logistics range is. Makes things slightly awkward. We just want to cut it off there, and then like here, and then here. There are biters trying to get through, so they're not going to like this one bit. That biter is getting through. We'll cut off his entrance, and then his exit. Oops, I've made a bit of a mess of that, but then this doesn't need to be particularly neat. It just needs to be functional. We'll just have separate requesters and chests for this. It's not going to work any other way, particularly. Loading. And then... oh, yep, there go the attacks. I'll just try and sort of stave them off a bit by like repeatedly pushing the biters back. And they'll still attack, but they'll attack less. There we go. So every time they come along, they'll immediately be pushed away again. I guess I can leave this bit open if you really want to. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, power poles. There and there. And then we'll just stick a long-range one in. Connects up quite well to things there. And I probably need to put more defenses in there later on because... oh wow, only now are the bots reaching me with the supplies of advanced circuits from the roboports. Yeah, I'll probably need to bolster those later because 2 turrets isn't a huge amount, especially if it's going to take a minute for them to be loaded, because that's a possibility. Well, I'm going to try and load the chests all manually after the power's been shut down. Then when the power switches on again, they'll all activate at once, but I don't know. I might run out of ammo. That's always a danger. I've increased the capacity for the production, but still might not be enough. It's hard to estimate with such ridiculous amounts of turrets in play. I will use these supplies to craft a bunch more roboports and send the bots crazy once again. Perfect. I had exactly the right number of circuits. They're just going to continue to chase me slowly. Right, I think I might now go down to the south and start work from there. For reasons. I feel like there's a more sort of solid, specific starting area or something. It's more random here, and I'll just base it on sort of how things work out from building the rest of the wall. Right, this wave of biters has calmed down, though there's another one coming, I'm sure. And also, there's a couple still trailing in, ones who had to charge one more than everyone else for whatever reason. We will follow our terrible iron line. Bunch of steel arriving now. That's the first wave. How are the bots? All logistics bots are in use at the moment. Mostly, I imagine, for supplying me rather than for transporting iron. But still, oh, that's a lot of them, actually. Yeah, things might be picking up there again now. Things are having more time to clear out and run down and stuff. It's not good. We need a new supply. Let's have a look at it. I mean, I could just belt that stuff through to here. It's a long trek, but it's a really accessible bit of ore. And the biters probably won't care that much. I'll put a bunch of modules in it. I'll just leave it running. The supply will trickle in. I could even run it through these furnaces, but maybe those ones would be better. Or I could get that one there, but that one's more covered. Oh, there's this one here, actually. That's not too far away. I'll go for that one, then. That's more accessible, and we can hook it straight into the column that isn't currently in much use. And that won't be too bad. How many mines do we have? 24, that might be enough. We'll get the whole thing being mined at full pelt, I think, though. We'll try and store more ore as well as get a bunch of it smelted, just so that we have a supply for later. Yeah, our aim is to get this belt full, though I don't know if that'll be possible with one column of furnaces. But we definitely need more if we want things to build up more quickly. Especially with all of the turrets and stuff that we're making at the moment. Right, it's just up here. I think around this corner or something. Or the next corner is the next corner. A lot of trees being annoying, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Here it is. Nice and clear of biters, though being by the water makes it slightly awkward. I'll just use my my bots to get this all cleared out. I might surround it with walls just because the biters might get stuck in amongst all the miners. And at the moment there are no biters over here, so it will be the perfect opportunity, he says, as miners arrive and start being annoying. I'll try and seal it off quickly before... Whoop, steady. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Before anyone can sneak in. There we go, we'll neaten it up a little bit, let him out. Just clear all this gubbins. Put it in properly. Use up all my battery power in one fell swoop. But there we go, we've got our own little sealed off deposit. We've got stupid amounts of wood at the moment. I'll just put those in my trash slots, and later on when I return to the base, all of the bots can go absolutely crazy trying to deal with it. Yeah, we'll try and just get this thing mined as fast as we can manage. Because it shouldn't be too long now before the war starts. I was sort of hoping for episode 100, but it seems like I won't be ready in time for that, unfortunately. Which is a shame, but not long after, I should imagine. Let's compress these up. We can just have it all run round the side or something. We might need red belts to keep all this going. We can go there. Causes a bit of an issue for things. Can we make it any more convenient? We could have a gap there, I guess that works. Yeah, that turns out okay. Here's a bit of a mess. We can move this up by 1. So it has coverage of all the stuff. Squish this in. Squish this in a lot. Still 4 attacks ongoing. Oh, we've run out of miners, luckily. I think we have enough supplies to make plenty more. Make like another 20. It's more than we need. We'll cut it down a bit. Cool feature that was recently implemented. Now when you cancel crafting, it doesn't reset the timer for the current craft. Because previously, if you wanted to like cancel something, you'd have to either wait for an opportune moment to do it, or you would have to lose out on some crafting time, which was always really annoying, and they finally did something about it. I think this works okay. This should be a very good supply for us. Oh, apparently we need just a little bit more than I expected. Let's make it 2 more. There and there. I think we're going to need some more efficiency modules for all this. Now let's see if it's actually physically possible to belt all of the mined ore out of here, because I'm not actually sure. I didn't think about it too much. But so far it seems to be working. I'll let go like that. Spin that round. Spin that round. This over here. That's annoying. This has to be split. That might be okay actually though. Down here. Along here. This one can just come out. This bit here will need to rotate and be underground belted. I think that's possible. I guess we'll find out at some point. We'll have to get the power up here as well. We don't want that like that, do we? Though there isn't much we can... we can do that actually. That works. Then this can run up here. And join onto the side or something. We'll work out the balancing later once it's actually running and I can get a proper idea of what's doing what. There we go. That is all of it covered with belts of some description. We'll hop outside. I guess we'll put in a gate. That should be fine. And we'll bring in power. Actually, before I go back to the base, I will use up all my efficiency modules to work out how many more I need. And then there'll not be so much pollution. Not that it would matter much, I guess. It might. Oh wow, we need loads. That was like less than half of them covered. It's quite a trick for the power as well. I guess in the meantime, well, on the way we can hook this up to the main power grid for what it's worth. At the moment it's fine. Right. Where's the power? Here it is. We can just go from here. Oh, I will need to pop into the base to grab some modules. Craft a couple more long-range power poles too. Good thing about having frequent gaps in the walls is it's very easy to get in and out of the base. Without even thinking about it that much. Right, I'm gonna go for like 2 stacks. That might not even be enough. Well, I placed something like 40, 45 miners. So, yeah, actually that should be about 3 stacks total. I've used 2 stacks already. So that should be okay. If I can get up to where the modules are stored. There we go, 2 stacks in storage. Take another 3 just because they're there. Bot's going crazy, grabbing all sorts of stuff off me. Handing me all sorts of other stuff. And I'm about to run away and leave them to wander around waiting for me to return again. Currently all the logistic spots in use once again. We are approaching the end of the episode. I'm going to see if I can hook up the outpost to the power first. To at least have that sorted. And then we'll get to belting it back. Though I think I might need fast belts. I'm just going to start crafting some of those. I don't think we have them being made anywhere, do we? I don't think I would have done that. I was going to use up all my normal belts in the process, but that's fine. Still trying to deliver me all sorts of random stuff. I don't want to leave because there's bots right behind me that have useful things. Right, I'm not going to stop anymore. They can follow me all they like, they'll not catch up. Because we still... until we get the alien artifacts, we won't be able to get the bots to their full potential, as is the case with many technologies at the moment. Oh, there we go. We can be a bit more efficient with that. And then somewhere around here, the next bit, I can't be bothered connecting up that outpost, the radar thing. It's fine. It won't mind. And one more. Oh, that's a point. How do I get power to half this stuff? I didn't even think of that. Oh, dear. There's a couple of places where I can squeeze in substations. I don't even have room to put the long-range power pole in. Let's extend this wall down by one. And then plonk it down. There's a couple of places where we can put power poles depending on things and stuff. Let's do that, and then we can have a substation there. That's half of them. Craft a bunch more. Can we put one there? No. There. Aha! We can. Beautiful. Then one here. Connect this up with shorter power poles to get the stuff in the middle running. Everything is on one side of the belt. That is terrible. We'll see if we can fix that. Also, we've got ones running that haven't been moduled yet. We'll sort that out. We're now getting more over time. I guess I have hooked it up to the power. That was what I said I was going to do, but I sort of want to get this whole thing running. There we go. That's all of them powered, but still not powered. All of them moduled. But still getting the power here is interesting. We're managing it, though, actually. It's not too bad. There we go, just these two over here, and we can definitely reach this. If I can find where I make substations, there's one. Done. Whole thing running. Terrible belt balancing, but it is running. And in the next episode, we will get that sorted. We'll put the... we'll mess about with the... Actually, it's sort of not terrible, but we'll sort the belts out. I'll probably implement some red ones, and we'll get it being delivered down to the base so we get a bunch more iron into the system. And so I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.